Shalom, Yasharala. This is your brother Dawud Daw from GMS Tampa Bay 07. Coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth with sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, we're jumping into this here quick lesson. Throwing out some extra edification on why it's important to have the sound, Now, this isn't in reaction to, Israel, what is that, Shah, Try to Refine, ITR, whatever it's called. It's not due to them, but, a little bit after that, I was talking to somebody and they was, speaking on that situation, somebody who knew they was an Israelite, okay, speaking on that situation, and, they were saying, I don't really even know why we need that sign, This person, I don't know, they just got things all twisted, they don't see the importance of everything else. They're not even thankful that they got this truth, People like this, they get the truth, find out they're Israelite, and they think, just like the Shah, those ITR guys, they think that Yahweh Shah is directly dealing with just them, Oh, no, the Lord revealed this to me. I didn't learn this from nobody else. Nobody taught me this. I just woke up to this one day, And then on top of that, I don't see why you need to go out to the highways and the byways and preach to anybody, You need to worry about your family first and foremost at the house, which, yeah, you do need to. I mean, your family is pretty much falling under your belt, Just like fucking voting back in the day while it wasn't that women weren't allowed to vote. The landowners were allowed to vote, You don't have a family of five in the house, giving 5 votes to one candidate, You got Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. You got one household with 5 people in there and another household with just 2 people in there, If both households going to all vote together in unison, that's kind of cheating on one side, So, at the same time, you have these people who, think that it's only important just to teach their family, I give the voting scenario because for the most part, if you're in a household with, you growing up with your parents or whatever, or husband and wife, they're going to have more or less the same types of beliefs and stuff like that, You're not going to really have a husband that wants to vote for, let's say, Donald Trump and a wife that want to vote for Hillary Clinton. You're not really going to have no dividedness like that. And the scriptures settle that, You basically roughly paraphrasing for, if you're a believing husband, if you're a man and you in this truth, and you have an unbelieving wife, she gonna be all right through you, and also women gonna be saved through childbearing, so she gonna be all right through you, Same with your kids up to a certain age, once they get old enough to be responsible for themselves, that's on them, And likewise with the women, you got a so-called believing woman, and her husband out, doing whatever, then, the scriptures say that basically he'll be saved through her, So dealing with your family and stuff like that is not all that important like that, I mean, if you can, drop them some hints here and there. But the scriptures say, look, this word is going to divide you from basically your loved ones, It's going to split up the household. And then it's going to also be a test that if you love your family basically more than you love the Most High and His Son, then you're not worthy of His kingdom, So those are things, that these people, like the people with the same mindset as this person I'm speaking of, they lack understanding, With all that get understanding, And, not saying that you have to be in the camp to be saved, but you're going to have a teacher. Somebody's got to teach you something, You're not just going out there on your own, you didn't just teach yourself this, put it that way, And you need teachers out there to guide you into the right, more or less the right directions, Speaking with the same person had it in their mind that, Nate and them getting the airplane to go, he didn't know that they was getting the airplane, but the Nate and them's they're setting up camps all over the world and this and that, And, but see, him not knowing and understanding certain things, he knows the scriptures, but he don't have understanding in the scriptures because he's thinking that that's a good thing, whereas that's not the way the Most High, how do you put it? These aren't the ingredients that the Most High set forth to bake this here cake. You taking all kind of whatever ingredients you want because you don't have the eggs, the flour, and let's say the milk. So you want to substitute the eggs with some peanut butter and the milk with some Coca-Cola and some flour with some sugar, and you expect to get the same cake. That's not how it's going to go down, So you have to understand, the bigger picture of all these things and how these and how and why these things are important to go into, you know. And so saying all that to say this, you know, showing that this person is lacking the understanding of what he's reading, okay, and you know, talking about the importance of the sign. Oh, the sign's not all that important anyway, you know. It's something that you just got to feel on the inside, and this is just something that you know, you're gonna know spiritually. The Most High is gonna just let you know spiritually, you know. And you have to, you know, you have to put yourself. How do I say? You got to look at this, you know, in a, how do you go? I say you have to be a strong judge of certain things, you know. You have to understand certain things. Israel, at this point in time, like when you read in Ezekiel 37, they the valley of dry bones, meaning they dead, or meaning they at the most fucked up state that they're going to be in, okay? You have to build these people up, okay? You can't just, you know, if the Most High has taught you this and ordained you to go out there and preach and teach, okay, your job is to go out here and build up the rest of the elect, okay? Yeah, they're going to be of the, you know, the elect's going to be the elect from the foundations of the earth, all right? So in their last lifetime, they still was of the elect. At the beginning of this lifetime, they still was of the elect, even though they was in a Gentile state of mind, even though they was fucked up. It's your job to go out there and wake them up, okay? So, and you have to just step back and look at how the Most High is putting all this together. You know, they have a saying, I think, in like education, each one and teach one or something like that. Basically, it's like, yo, you help me, I'm going to help the next person. They're going to help the next person. That's just how we're going to move, all right? It's not one person helping everybody out. You know, that's too much weight on somebody's shoulder, you know? If one person is out on the highways and the byways and he can, you know, he's out there, you know, by himself teaching and he can draw in 5 people, okay? One person drawing in 5 people. How much more is those 5 people that he taught can go out and bring in more people, okay? That's the importance of you going out to the highways and the byways to bring these people in. But also, you got to understand, like I said, they the valley of the dry bones. They in the most fucked up state that they're going to be in. They not going to know they Israelites, okay? This is what your mission is. Your mission is to tell them, because you have to understand what happened to us. Psalms 83, we lost our heritage. We don't know who we are, okay? In the place where it says you are not my people, there is going to be called where you are, basically you my people. So the transition is going to happen here. And how is that transition going to happen? All right? Transition is going to happen if you read in Ezekiel chapter 2, Ezekiel chapter 3, Ezekiel chapter 37. By the preaching, by you going out on the highways and the byways and preaching. This is how this is going to be, you know? And now also the sign. You know, this is what this video is about, the sign. The sign isn't, or you're not going to just know you're a spiritual Israelite. It's just something you feel because, like I said, the elect, they in a fucked up state of mind when you first find them. They don't know what the fuck to feel. They don't know what the hell is going on, you know. But for example, I'll use me for an example, right? Lord willing, I'm a part of that number of the elect, okay? So let's say, let's be on the safe side. 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying? 10 years ago when I was those dead-ass bones, I didn't know none of this stuff. I didn't know none of this stuff existed, you know? So if I was to walk by a camp and see these guys, you know, I'm going to speak as if those people, the dry bones will speak. If I see these guys up there in these funky-ass garments or whatever the hell they wearing, I don't know what the fuck they wearing. You know, I see a group of black people on the corners and stuff like that screaming, the white man, the white man, the white man. I got a bunch of white friends. My girlfriend white. My people is white. What are you talking about? That's going to scare these people off rip, you know? But when they walking by, you know what I'm saying? Especially knowing Jake. Jake don't like you really talking about them, all right? And we're going to get into the scripture, but a lot of Jake is going to walk by and see the sign, especially the northern tribes, all right? Because the majority of the camps is filled with the southern kingdom, all right? So you'll see a group of so-called, or, you know, a group of dark-skinned people, you know, from the southern kingdom, so-called black people, Haitians and what do you call them? Man, what do you call those people? The Negroes, the Haitians, and not the Levites, but the West Indies. I was going to say the Benjamites, but the West Indies, you know. If they come around and they see these signs like that, you know, you see some people from Jamaica walking around, some Jamaicans, they walk by and they see, or they're not going to see Jamaicans on the sign, they're going to see West Indies, but, well, some Haitians are walking by and they see the sign, like, what do you mean Haitians? What y'all got to do with Haitians? That's going to draw them in, okay? That's the thing that's going to draw them in. And again, you see a group of so-called black people, okay, preaching on the highways and the byways, talking about the white man, and a group of Mexicans walk by and they see Mexicans on the sign. They might slightly take offense to that. What you mean Mexicans? Okay? What you mean Puerto Ricans? This is going to be the thing to draw them in because they don't really want to hear all that white man, white man, white man. That's too much meat down their throat at once. They throwing up. Okay? Give them the milk. When they see their nationality, what are you talking about? All right? That's the importance of that. Nevertheless, we're going to jump into the scripture. You know, it's not that many. I'm going to read 11 through, I think, 17 or 19. This is Ezekiel 37, or starting at verse 15. The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel his companions. All right. Now, this is how do I say? This is being spoken to Ezekiel metaphorically. Okay. And you have to understand the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning and understanding. This wasn't even written for Ezekiel, okay? Because at this point in time, okay, well, they weren't together. You had the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom was separated. The northern kingdom was over here. The southern kingdom was still over there. Basically, they was like in Babylon, I believe, at this point in time, all right? So you know, and they wasn't teaching the Israelites who they were at that point in time. Because first of all, the southern kingdom knew who they were at that point in time, all right? So you didn't have to teach them who they were. And the northern kingdom wasn't going to get nowhere near around the southern kingdom until, what, 1492 coming around? After that, actually, like 1600 when the Negroes came over here. So Ezekiel was long gone by this point in time. But nevertheless, the things that was written aforetime was written for our understanding. All right? And it's ironic that when we on the highways and the byways, you know, we have the sign, you know, and a lot of the camps have either a wooden sign or the post that holds the sign is of wood, okay? It says, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah, okay, the southern kingdom, or it'll get into it, which is talking about the southern kingdom, for Judah and the children of Israel, his companions, okay. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, for all the house of Israel and his companions, talking about the northern kingdom, all right. So basically here the Most High is saying, look, because you got two different kingdoms. You got the kingdom of Israel and you got the kingdom of Judah. All right? He's saying, look, take one for the kingdom of Judah, one stick that's going to represent the whole kingdom of Judah, and one stick that's going to represent the whole kingdom of Israel. All right? You got two separate sticks because you got a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. All right? They separated at this point in time. He's saying, it says, verse 17, and join them one to another in one unto one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. All right? So this is the metaphor he's telling them, like, look, put these two sticks together and it's going to make one whole stick, you know? Let's put it in reverse. Let's reverse it a little bit. Take a tree branch, all right, one whole branch, and break it in half, all right? So you got these two sticks that was broken in half, the northern and the southern kingdom, all right? And he's saying, basically take that stick together, you know what I'm saying, and just put it back together, you know, piece by piece. That's one whole stick again. It's still one same branch, okay? You got the northern and the southern kingdom. That's the whole house of Israel, okay? Forget all the two kingdoms. This is the whole house of Israel that they're talking about, all right? And this is, now this is the point of that sign. So basically here, like I said, the things that was written beforehand was written for our understandings, all right? So this is basically a direct message unto us. And this time, once we started waking up on this side, all right? Not even once we was over here in slavery, because it didn't matter when we was over in slavery. We were still basically under the curses, but you know, we get into the time of our salvation. So the Lord is gathering his people back together. But before this, you know, we were still separated. We didn't know who we were. So now it's saying, look, at this point in time when you're on the highways and the byways, and I'm about to start gathering my people, the people who don't know that they're my people, the people who don't know who they are, the people who can't remember the name Israel because of Psalms 83, and all the other prophecies that said that we was going to fall from our heritage, we was going to be sold into our captives, all these other prophecies that describe the conditions and the states and the location where Israel would be at, okay? So, again, if you was reading all these things and everything that was in these scriptures, okay, and you got an understanding of the whole big picture, you would know the end part, you know, of the Bible, and the timeline of the Bible, that the children of Israel would be scattered. They would all be apart. They wouldn't know who they were. And at the very end, the Lord was going to send Yahushua back, you know, right before he came back, the children of Israel would be gathered back up together. Their heritage would come back unto them. They would know who they are again. They would return back into the law, statutes, and commandments, all right? But how were they going to do that if they don't know who they were? They're not going to just wake up one day, oh, we all Israelites. That's just too simple. Nobody would be on the highways and the byways free. If that was the case, like the Most High say, look, I'm going to put my laws, statutes, and commandments inside of you, and no more will a man teach his brother the law, statutes, and commandments, all right? So if that's fucking easy to do, the Most High already going to do this shit, you know, when we into the kingdom, all right? Really, the elect, the men of the Lord that's on this side right now, who's trying to follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their abilities, the ones that endure to the end, they're going to basically be in that mindset from here on out. We constantly rehearsing the righteous acts until we get it. This is why, these scriptures is embedded into us, all right? Then those elect, they're going to wind up replenishing the earth. So they're going to teach their kids, all right? So, and the Most High is going to put it in us not to go off. So we ain't going to break the commandments no more. So if it's easier for him to do it at that point in time, why can't he just do it on this point in time? Because that's not the ingredients he put together for this cake that he's trying to bake, all right? If that was the case, you know what I'm saying? We would all just wake up, oh, we Israelites. Oh, yeah, we ain't supposed to be doing this. All right, where the chariots at? We wouldn't be out on the highways and the byways fighting these demons week in and week out, Fighting. Man, this fight is a hard fight, man. We've been deemed as so-called terrorists. They finna come down on us. We finna lose our whole livelihoods. We didn't pretty much lost our whole livelihoods, but we finna lose the rest of whatever we have, whatever we have left, We about to lose all of that, We finna be the world's most wanted people on the whole fucking planet Earth. All right? So, you know what I'm saying? This not no light task, And if the Most High could just wake us all up, then what are we doing all this for? But he said through the foolishness of preaching, all right? That was the ingredients, the way he prescribed this to be, all right? And it says, and now, again, when you're on the highways and the byways, and when you preaching like you was commanded to do, all right, to raise up and show my people their transgressions, whether they will hear, whether they will forbear, all right? When you out there in the highways and the byways, you know what I'm saying? Again, you got to understand Jake, especially in the condition that they in. They more worried about, they don't want to hear you preaching and shit like that, Especially in the state of the mind that they're going to be in when you first come across them for the first time, all right? They're not going to be like that. They're not going to want to hear none of that. That's why they don't go to church to begin with. That's why they ain't just come up to you and ask you what's going on here. I'm interested in this, all right? You got to make certain things click. They don't want to hear none of that at first, all right? But a lot of them, you'll see them, if you got experience on the highways and the byways, I mean, you shouldn't have to break this down. You'll see how the majority of Jake walk by. They might walk by, not saying nothing, but they hear what we saying, but all that's going in one ear, coming out the other ear, because with they selective hearing, they don't want to hear none of that shit, But they looking at the sound with their eyes and be like, bruh, what are you talking about, Negroes? You see what I'm saying? You got to understand, Jake get offended by a lot of shit, So they be like, what you talking about, Negroes? What you mean, Negroes? Especially if they see, like in our camp, we got two so-called Puerto Rican brothers in our camp, and people like to, people will always be like, oh, yeah, I got so-called Edomites or white people in here, and y'all don't like white people, Those types of things like that draw people in. Also, saying the so-called white man, And we know you ain't going into slavery because you white. We know that. We know that white people ain't going into slavery. We know white people ain't the damn devil. We know that Edomites are the damn devil. All right? You could be a goddamn Jake with white skin. We know that. But that's shoving steak down these people's throat. They don't understand that. So what do we say? We say the so-called white man. Until they can drink enough milk to be like, okay, now, what do you mean, all white people? Well, actually, no, not all white people, because, you have some of those that have different colored skin. Blake Griffin and his son. Okay? Prime example. We could bring stuff out like that. Christina Aguilera, Cameron Diaz. Okay, when they able to get up off of the milk a little bit, okay, then you could teach them that, But first you got to tell them, well, yeah, the so-called white man is who brought you over on slave ships? So-called white man. Who polluting the ocean? The so-called white man. Who's oppressing you? The so-called white man. They can easily add that up. But once they get done drinking that milk, they're ready to digest them. Like, wait a minute, you mean all white people? I know a few good white people. Well, some of them ain't actually white. We're not really talking about white people. What we're talking about, we don't give a fuck about your skin color. All right? We know there's something. Now let me teach you about the confusion of faces. All right? One thing leads to another thing. It's baby steps in this. You got to understand that. All right? And so it says here, moreover, verse 17, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? All right, and now this is a blatant prophecy, word for word. This is what they be saying on the highways and the byways. What's going on with this here sign? People come up laughing. What y'all talking about with this sign? Negroes, Native Americans, Argentinians, Colombians. What the hell is that all about? What's up with all these people? Okay, then you can break it down to what these people all got one thing in common. The so-called white man, Israel and under the whole heaven has not been done as been done to the whole house of Israel. Okay, you can literally break that down by, all right, show me more atrocities than it happened to any of these people. We can go down tribe by tribe by tribe. Why are these people at the very bottom? Why are these people always treated like shit? Now let me open up the Bible and show you some of the prophecies that they fit. Okay, that's what's gonna bring them in when they walk up. Like, what do you mean by this sign? What's up with this sign? Talking about some Negroes and Colombians and Haitians. You know what I'm saying? They're going to walk by and see these, and it's going to spark something in them. Okay? Now, this is the one thing that most Jake is desiring inside of them, because they not shit. They ain't been shit for the longest time. They desiring to be something, to be a part of something. Okay? And what are we out there telling them? You know, I know that poverty and that tribulation, but thou art rich. Okay? That's what we out there trying to tell them. Look, we know you ain't shit out here. We know how you feel like you ain't shit out here, but we trying to tell you, you are somebody. You that cornerstone that all the other builders rejected. When nobody else wanted to build with your motherfucking ass, the Most High said he gonna build his whole planet in righteousness with you. That's what we out here telling you. That's why your name is on this sign. All the other stuff we talking about, nuclear warfare and race wars and all kind of other stuff like that, the mark of the beast. Jake and their mindset, when you first meet them, they don't want to hear about none of that, because none of that shit matter to them. They in a 2/3 state of mind at that point in time. All right, so you got to kind of use that shit to their advantage. Kind of offend them by certain things. What you mean by niggas and spicks? What you talking about, niggas and spicks? 2/3 of you niggas is gonna die. What you mean by that? Actually, we not really we're not talking down on so-called Mexicans, but you so-called 2/3 of y'all motherfuckers that want to be like that. The hell with y'all. We trying to raise y'all up. You know, those are types of things that bring in our people. You know. You have to understand how to draw your people in. You can't just go to them directly. Hey, look, man, you walk up to 1,000 Jake, you know, hey, you the Lord's people. God dealing with you. He about to save you. They don't want to hear all of that. All right? Sometimes you got to shake them up a little bit, persuade them through the Spirit of the Most High. Hey, the Most High finna put your ass to death, man. You want to keep doing that shit, you know? And then sometimes people are like, oh, shit, you know? So you got to kind of catch them how it is, you know? Some of these things that you might think is so small, you know, as small as a little sign. That is very important. That's like the very first baby step to draw in any and everybody else, you know? That's the first thing first, you know? Like when I first saw the videos, you know, I didn't really realize that it was Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans on the highways and the byways. Like, I've seen the videos, but I didn't put two and two together. But hold up, this group is only Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Might be some so-called confusion to faces, so-called white people in there, you know, at the point in time. But I didn't even put that shit together. I was just like, okay, just like in any other mindset I was in, okay, they got a Bible, they probably at church. Just like you go to any other church, you know, you just see them in church. You can't tell what how do you say, they doctrine or what their denomination is just by actually seeing them sitting down in there. Some of them you can, but, you know, for the most part, you just like, okay, they in church, just keep it fucking moving, all right? You walk by a million different churches, you don't really want to know nothing that they got going on different, but you put something weird out on the outside, people are like, what the hell is up with this church? All right? You see a lot of churches with crosses on top, right? If you roll by a damn church that had a swastika on top or a goddamn some other kind of like weirded out symbol or something like that, it would spark your imagination. What the hell what's going on in there? You'd be curious about it, all right? So, you know, with all that get understanding, you know, and don't let that pride that you got on you, oh, the Most High teach me directly. Oh, it's only about this. Oh, you don't got to go out to the highways and the byways to go teach all that. You don't got to be with no camp. You don't have to have no sign out there for you. Well, what are your markers to tell these people who they are? How you going to be grabbing all these people? Every person you walk by, hey, you know you an Israelite? Hey, you know you an Israelite? That's not going to work out. You might be preaching about the nuclear missiles in a group of people just like you on the highways and the byways. You constantly have groups of people walking by. You speaking about the nuclear missiles or the mark of the beast, you know, on one other topic or on faith or something else, right? And they walking by and somebody like, well, what does this sign mean? You know, you got to be instant in season and out of season. Okay, now, look, we out here for this. So let me go ahead and teach you who you are. Change the subject up because you done got caught by that bait. You done got caught with the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. We got you now. All right? Well, with that, Lord, I want to say, listen, it was edifying. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that taught the rest of these brothers this truth, that work diligently, that labor and that put up with these damn demons and shit, you know they got to be putting up with demons more, because us brothers, we dealing with these demons left and right, but how much more the apostles, man? How much more to them that had to go through all of this and to have they fucking kids over here turning around and scoffing at them? Like, you motherfuckers, they the ones gave you life, you dumb bitch. Speaking of them ITR, them types of niggas. Man, how dare you go? I don't even want to get onto that. But nevertheless, hey, man, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that not only taught me this truth, but taught the other brothers this truth, that rolled on down and taught me this truth, all right? Because I didn't learn directly from the elders and the apostles. I didn't directly learn from Apostle Tahar. I watched his videos and learned from there, but when I first came into this, before I even knew who he was, I was learning from the other brethren, who they in turn learned from other brethren, who they in return learned from other brethren, who learned from the apostles on down, who they learned from their apostles on down, all right? So if it wasn't for another man teaching you, you wouldn't know none of this, all right? And really, if it wasn't for the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone going on the internet, damn, I don't even know if anybody would know they was an Israelite, because they the ones pushing these other camps to go out on the highways and the byways to go and push this work. And GMS the only camps that go out there year round, don't take no weeks off. Rain, sleet, snow. We out there, in the blizzards and all. The head apostles be out there in the blizzards they had up there, just to teach you motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, what's going on, and you got the nerve to scoff at them. All right? Where are these other camps teaching you this type of stuff at, huh? What other groups is out there flooding the damn airways 2 and 3 videos a day, making Esau change up the algorithms on YouTube? Whose fault is it you can't go on YouTube and not know that you a goddamn Israelite? All right? Somebody had to teach you this. All right? You didn't just, Yahweh Shah didn't just come in, hey, tap you on your shoulder, this is what it is. Go teach your family, and that's just it. Scripture also say, man, don't no man take no candle and hide it up under no shit. You got this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, basically. All right? And Lord willing, like I said, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Till next time I say, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Can't stress that enough. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, pushing this truth and sincerity on the 4 corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.